The first thing that I wish I knew about high school was the competition aspect of high school. And now, every single person that is in the same grade level as you is considered as a competitor. And everyone is competing for an available spot at a university. The way that the system works is that universities offer the best candidates a position at the university. So having a better understanding of how class ranks work, where am I at in my class rank, and how can I improve my class rank will all benefit you at the end. The second thing that I wish I knew about high school was to figure out what I wanted to do with my life. Now, having a good visual of what job position you want to be in, what major you want to be a part of, or what industry you want to get into, that will give you a good rundown of what high school academics should look like. Now, the majority of my life, I always wanted to be an architect, and I knew that I would have to take a lot of math classes and a lot of science classes. However, in junior year of my high school, I took a drafting class, sort of like an architecture class, and after taking that class, I knew architecture was not really my thing anymore, and I just threw the idea of me being an architect away, and that left me back at square one of what I want to do with my life. The benefits of knowing what you want to be in the future will give you a good rundown of what high school should look like and know what subjects you should be leaning on, what subjects you should be away from, and what goals you should set for your future. Don't make the same mistake as what I did. Make sure you take your first year and find out what you really want to do with your life and basically plan out your high school according to that. The third thing that I wish I knew about high school was to plan out my schedules for all my 4 years of high school. Now, I didn't have full control of my schedules until my junior year. That's because I basically just took all of my classes that my guidance counselor recommended for me without really hesitating or really thinking about it. And that really messed me up because if I was to go back into my high school years, I would definitely switch it up for more AP classes, more dual enrollment classes. Therefore, I can be a better student myself and make better accomplishments. The fourth thing that I wish I knew about high school was to choose the right extracurriculars. Now, going back into the second thing that I wish I knew about high school, about knowing what I want to do with my life, every single extracurricular should be related to what you want to do. Now, when it comes to extracurriculars, I am very big into quality of extracurriculars over quantity of extracurriculars, and let me explain. It is very common for people to have very lengthy lists of extracurriculars, but to me, that is not as incredible as if you had less extracurriculars, but as more focused into what you want to do. An example of quantity over quality extracurriculars are like this. Quantity students are more like very common extracurriculars. So it's like NHS club, 4 years of varsity sports, or volunteering at a church somewhere. Those are stuff that are very common for admission officers to see already, and that's like something that is not very new to them. However, quality extracurriculars are like volunteering at a hospital, working an internship, or making our own company. Those are things that are not very common for them to see, and that will just like wow them the most and make the students pop out even more. But your list of quality extracurriculars should be based off what you want to do in your future. So like if you're going into a medical major, your examples of extracurriculars should be like volunteering at a hospital, joining HOSA club, or maybe being licensed into something in medical. Those are things that are more related into the med major or industry, and that will really help you stand out. To know if you pick the right extracurriculars, you should be able to give like an admission officer your list of extracurriculars, and if they were be able to guess what major you're going to be in or what job position you're going to be in, and if they guess correctly, you will have the best chance of getting into that university. The fifth thing that I wish I knew about high school was to not waste my summers. And the majority of my high school summers, it was more vacation and more fun activities. And don't get me wrong, I really enjoyed it. However, I wish I knew a lot sooner that summer was a chance to get ahead in the race. So if I were to go back into my high school summers, I wish I would be a little bit more productive to take more summer classes, maybe volunteer a little bit more, or just learn a new skill. Now, the sixth thing that I wish I knew about high school was to take more SATs and ACT tests. We all know how crucial it is to have a good SAT score and ACT score in order to get into a university. However, I wish I took it a lot more serious and have studied a lot more during my freshman year and my sophomore year. I wish I was able to take more practice tests and learn a couple of strategies during those years in order for me to have a good SAT score, or trying to get into a good SAT or ACT score in my juniors and senior years. The seventh thing that I wish I knew about high school was how expensive high school could be as well. And now we all know that college is expensive, paying off your tuition, paying for transportation, paying for food, but no one really talks about how expensive high school could be. Some factors are like event tickets or parking passes, graduation is pretty expensive, college applications, and all those sort of things are not really put into consideration on how expensive it could be. A solution to this is just simply get a part-time job. There are probably countless of part-time jobs out there that will hopefully be beneficial to these expenses. The eighth thing that I wish I knew about high school was to take more time learning in the universal toolbox. Some skills in the universal toolbox that students can learn could be public speaking, negotiating, sales, or learning a new language. These are things that students can put in their high school resumes, and I promise you, universities will really see that and really put that into play, because those are things that they don't really see often in students. And also, to top it off, it could be just beneficial in the real world. And the ninth and last thing that I wish I knew about high school was just to be authentic. Universities love to see authenticity in their students. So being a first generation in college, or just being overall different than the environment of students, those are the things that universities take into consideration in their decision of acceptance. And overall, just in general, just being true to yourself and being passionate of what you believe are basically things that will help you have a meaningful learning experience. Now that's all in today's video. If you really enjoyed watching this kind of videos, make sure you like and subscribe for more of this kind of content. And if you had any ideas of what content or other content I should be creating, make sure you comment down below so I can definitely take that in consideration. Until next time, goodbye.